everyone. Grand Rising. This is Sandy here from the People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers. We're here today for our installment of Exhaleration with Matt Thompson. This is our weekly offering to the community. Of course, People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers is a high vibe tribe, and we have our Education and Resource Center located here in Weymouth Landing. We are underneath a beautiful yoga studio called Open Doors Yoga Studio. Highly recommended if hot yoga is your thing. But right now we are in our safe and sacred space for, consuming the Holy Sacrament. This is a place where we come together to really sort of, heal in community. We manifest our dreams and desires. Frankly, we've all just become kind of really good friends, right? And that's what church is all about, right? Finding community and finding your tribe. So I today am going to partake in this beautiful Holy Sacrament, which is some sour cookies. And I just love this strain because it's just a beautiful hybrid. I've always been a sour diesel kind of girl. But sometimes when I meditate or do breath work, I find that when I eat a small amount of an edible or take just a puff off of a nice, lovely hybrid, that I'm able to really drop in and settle into my body. Yeah. So right now, Matt, I would love to bless this space, and I would like to say Grand Rising to you while I partake in the sacrament. How are you feeling today?
Good. A little chaotic morning, or still will be for a little bit, but I think it kind of goes along with the topic for today of being in the moment.
Oh yeah.
And not letting yourself escape from that and lose control of the day really quick, which I could have easily done this morning.
Right.
So,
and when a curveball gets thrown your way. Yes.
Exactly.
Well, we are also joined here today by a couple of our beautiful supporting members. Again, this content and this programming would not be possible without your generous support. I do recommend pcsam.org to sign up for our newsletter for our amazing blogs by Anna and by our resident astrologer, Colleen. And of course, today is new moon also, tonight, Matt. And so, it is just such a great time to sort of reset, set your intentions for this season. It's kind of, the veil is thin, as they say. It's been a very intense last few weeks, I think, for most of us. And I personally am ready for this shift.
Yeah.
So I don't know if anybody else in the room is feeling that, but I would just like to say, once again, Matt, thank you for being here. And today's topic, staying present, being in the flow, kind of ties along with the creativity talk of last week and just how we, show up, right?
Yeah.
And so I know I had to do some grounding with the box breathing yesterday at the suggestion of a friend because I was just, very overwhelmed, sick kids, cold and flu season's here. And just taking that 5 minutes to do the box breath,
right.
And these tools and just kind of like reset the nervous system has been so instrumental in my healing and in my ability to, juggle all of the things and kind of stay in balance since we started working together.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Thank you for that and for everybody else that reminds me to breathe out there. We appreciate you. Oh, I did want to just show the membership card, but I'll do that after.
Yeah, do you want to do that now? Or?
No, I set it down somewhere.
Okay. So you're already lost in your space.
It's over there. Oh, is it over here? Oh yeah, so we
if you want to do that now.
Yeah, I did just want to show this off. So
forget.
Stanley, who's often on the show, helped us design these really amazing little reusable cases because part of the ethos of the church is that we don't really believe in packaging. So instead of having those doob tubes that end up in the trash, oh look, and then you get this fancy little membership card. Oh, hi Sarah, your card's ready. So along with your donation, you get this cool membership card, which again just shows your alliance, shows your solidarity with the Native American tribes, because our People's Congregation of Shakers and Movers, we do support the Wumanidi Earth Native Sanctuary. I do recommend that you check them out and all of their amazing work. Gemma is a pioneer. So we continue to support as many nonprofits as we can, and we'll hopefully continue to do so into the new year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why don't we just we'll dive right into it today, and I'll just do like a little bit of imagery. So if everyone out there just wants to find a comfortable space, laying down, sitting up nice and straight, feet on the ground. And then for today, to get started with our breath, let's just fall into the moment now. Our topic for today being in the moment. So let's just breathe in and out through our mouth with our intention or focus of the breath, bringing the breath into the heart. So we're going to breathe into the heart space. And with the inhale, I just invite you just to create like a light sound and really draw that air in to the heart. Pause when you're done with the inhale for just 1 second. And then slowly exhale from that space as we bring our attention to drawing the prana into the heart space. Pause. And a nice full, long exhale as you fall into this. And just allow for the heart to relax. Allow for the space to open. And on your exhales, you just feel the relaxation, the openness of the heart just spread up to the shoulders. Feel it trickling to the neck and into your head. And just let the heart open as well into the stomach and hips and down to your feet on that exhale. So draw into the heart. Pause. Slowly exhale as you feel that heart energy spread throughout the body, and just focus on that heart energy, the light, to spread throughout your being, staying with this breath. Still breathing into the stomach as well, but focusing the prana into the heart. And then just take one more breath. At the end of the slow exhale, take a moment and continue just to lightly breathe into the heart space through the mouth and nose, and just relax it. Slow it down. And there's no thinking about it right now, it's just kind of naturally occurring into that heart space as we just slow it down. No pause with your breath. And we're just going to circle breathe for a moment and continue our breath without any pauses. And now I'm going to invite you to breathe the heart energy as we draw the air into the heart space. And on the exhale, it's time to send the energy behind the heart and out of the body, and in front of the heart and out of the body. As we breathe it into the energy body into your field around you. So just breathe it in. No pause necessary for this one. And then just breathe it out through the back and the front. Feel the energy disperse. Coming out through the back of the heart and the front. And as you stay with this breath, feel the vibration within the body. Can you feel the vibration in the energy body? Can you feel that vibration, that light, that glow? As we breathe in to the heart space and then out into the energy body, and just let that field fill with the energy and light from the heart space. Just take 2 more breaths with this, and then we'll return. Just invite you to go to the nose breath after 2. As we bring our attention into the nose breathing, breathing into the stomach, breathing in through every pore of the body, and just continue to feel the energy throughout your entire being, the tingling, the vibration. Maybe almost like a shaking feeling without shaking. And just feel the light and the energy around you grow as we breathe in and out through the nose, nice and relaxed. Quiet the breath down. Let your breath become light, very light and soft. Gentle. I think for me, breathing into the heart space has been something that I've just been working on doing. Like, that's where during the course of the day, if I need to change things up, I focus on breathing into the heart and into that energy. Especially when the external environment is drawing me away from the present moment of right now. And so I use like a few things to help keep me grounded with what's going on now. Our world is always so chaotic. You know, we sit here and we say, oh, it's so busy, it's summertime. And then summertime's over and it's, oh, it's this and it's that and it's this. And you know, we're always making excuses why we're so busy. And it's just continuous. It's never ending. Things that draw us away from ourselves. We can make up 1,000 excuses with the season, with the weather, with people. And you know, we get trapped. We can let it like really control us. We get so wrapped up in the busyness and the craziness, or just one event. You know, like this morning I lost my keys, didn't even know if I was texting Sandy, like I probably called her and was a little chaotic for a moment. And then I had to bring myself back to the moment. And even though I haven't found them yet, but I did find the spare. But I never, like the old self, would have gotten angry, and then it would have drawn, and I would have been swearing and yelling, and I was able, like I had like a brief little moment in my head of just like panic and stuff, worrying about, what was I worried, panicking because of the future, right? Driving here or driving to where I need to go tomorrow morning. You know, I went all the way into tomorrow morning. Briefly. And so I could have made that choice right there to either stay with that and allow for that chaos to carry through the day, or just accept the situation for what it is. And maybe they're lost, maybe I'll find them later too, who knows. But I just have to accept it for what it is right now. And so that's like by breathing into the heart space is one tool to use that I used this morning to help me keep me present and focused on the moment without losing track of or without becoming lost in the world of chaos, living into the future, or why me. Just accept the situation. It is what it is for whatever reason, which I don't know that one yet, but it'll be something to look at. But it's the way it's meant to be. The situation is perfect. There's something here to learn or to gain. So accept it and then fall back into the moment of what you're doing right now and let it go. And so I think as we look at our situations within our journey of each day, we have that choice when there's something an event that draws us into the external. If it's your phone, letting you know that there's a message either on Instagram or Facebook, or someone just texted you, like that's going to draw you out of the moment. Like, do we really need to rush to that? Or let it draw our attention away? Can we just let it wait? Maybe our moment is important to stay with our moment. Maybe like driving your car. Or if you're free writing after some breath work and you're just writing it out, are you going to let that take you out of the moment, like the phone or anything else from the external world? So I think when we think of rushing, the worries, there's so much to do, and then we can rush into what's pulling us from the present moment. And so for myself, it's been about breathing into the heart space and just becoming patient. Like, things can wait. I don't need to respond to people immediately. I just need to stay present. If my present situation is nothing and I can give it that space, then I can change my present moment to that external if it serves a good purpose and I'm not really doing anything, or to have the patience to continue with what I'm doing. If it's maybe just listening to a good song or having some quiet time, it can just be like any other vibration. It doesn't have to require an action. And so for me, finding that patience and that understanding is something that helps me stay with the present moment, finding the breath, breathing into the heart. And then just accepting situations that can drive me crazy and just having acceptance for them and appreciation for they are exactly how it's meant to be at that moment. Whether it be a relationship or something that happened within a relationship or something with a person at work or as we allow for feelings and emotions to arise, we can allow for them to carry us away from the moment. We can acknowledge it, right, and fall into the body like we do quite a bit and find the energy source that's maybe being activated. Because we're always being activated somewhere. So like what we do with the breath work, and we'll do this in a moment, and we can just breathe into that space. I was sending someone some energy last night, and it was really powerful, and I really felt that person very deeply. And the pain that was in my stomach from it was incredible, very painful. And I just had to breathe into that space and release it. So sometimes, just breathing into the heart space, if a trigger occurred or a thought or an emotion came up around someone or an event or a situation, and maybe it's not the appropriate time to act on that emotion. Maybe I can't do anything about it. So by breathing into either the pain center or the center that's being activated through that emotion, breathing into the heart, then dispersing that energy throughout the body or into the world around you. And this is all stuff that help us keep us in the moment and present. And then for me, it's that accepting. I think we talked about this last week. Accepting our situations and just know that they're correct. Have that trust in the universe. That everything that's happening right now is exactly how it's supposed to happen. I'm just going to invite you just to breathe, nice big deep breath in and a breath out. And just relax and let the body go. We're just going to we're going to move into a conscious connected breath for a few minutes with some imagery and some mantras that may also help us keep us present. With the imagery, I'm just going to guide you into yourself and just lightly suggest to seek out things that you might be aware of for yourself that easily draw you away from the present moment. What in your life draws you away? What can take control of you? What's out there in your journey, in your everyday life? And if anything's coming up now, just breathe into it. Just acknowledge the thought. Don't fall into the line of thinking with that. And I'm just going to invite you to find the breath, your breath right now. So the conscious connected breath is through the mouth. It's an active inhale with a relaxed exhale. So just kind of it's a circle breath. And just keep it nice and relaxed. So I'm going to do it super gentle. I usually overdo it so that people can hear, but I just want it really gentle right now, like. So drawing that air into the stomach, the mouth should be just slightly open. And we try and do a circular breath with no movement within the lips. It should just stay the same. The opening and closing is not, there's no opening or closing, sorry. And just fill that stomach somewhat quick. And then nice relaxed exhale and just fall into this breath. Become comfortable and relaxed. And as you stay with this breath, I invite you at this time to allow for any emotions or events or people. What is it in your daily life, or what has happened recently, that has drawn you away from being present and fully engaged with what you need to be engaged with? So maybe come up with a couple of scenarios as you fall into this breath. And when an emotion or an event arises, seek out where you feel it within the body. Like last night, I really had it in the stomach. And then just breathe into that space and release that. And then just fall into nothing. You know, it's like becoming dead for a moment. It's just a space of nothing. Can you fall into that space of nothing? And from that space, from that dead space of nothing, is where that next emotion or event will arise. Because we're not thinking about it. Just let it be spoken to you. Because maybe it's something that really needs your attention too. After you breathe into the space where you feel that emotion, fall into nothing. Just drop into the breath. Drop it. And just let it be spoken to you through this dead space. The space of nothing. Lightness. Don't worry about big gaps. Fall into the nothing and just become comfortable with nothing. So at this time, let's completely drop into nothing. No more thought, no more emotions for a moment. Let them all just be aware that they came up. That's it. Just drop into space. Drop into being a feather in light. Know that the breath is there, but you don't feel it. You almost can't even sense it as it lightly becomes nothing. And just be. There's nothing here. It's just a moment of silence. enjoy this moment with yourself. Enjoy feeling good, light. And then now, as we kind of come out of it, I invite you to just lightly bring your consciousness back slowly. And just pick something that came up for you. One of the things that draws you away from the moment. And what we're going to do here is we're going to walk through the scenario of what happens when it pulls you out. And I'm going to invite you right now to take a moment and think about what this situation is. And with this situation, I'm going to invite you right now, before we get started with some imagery, to come up with a mantra for yourself in this situation. And the mantra is meant to, for me, it's sometimes I have to repeat it like 2, 3, 4 times, maybe 20 times, to allow for it to be another tool or doorway to bring me back to the moment, and to not allow for the thought to take over and take control, because maybe it's something that I can't give it time right now. I shouldn't give it time right now. I should be giving this time. So what's a mantra for yourself that you can repeat? So just come up with something and give you a moment to find that. Breathe into it. Something very quick. 1 or 2 words. Maybe 3. As you stay with that conscious connected breath through the mouth, into the stomach. And I'm going to invite you to put yourself in a situation, maybe where this moment came up, maybe something you were doing, or maybe put yourself in a situation that you need to stay attentive to and can't be drawn away from that moment. So just bring yourself into, if it's driving, work, cleaning the dishes, time with your dog or your children. What are you doing that requires you to stay present in the moment? So just engage yourself in some moment right now, and just fully, mentally walk yourself through the play, the talking, or the reading, whatever it is that you're doing. Just use words and describe what you're doing in the moment, with yourself or others. And feel it. Feel how this makes you feel. How does this situation feel in your body? Is it something that you enjoy? It could be something that could be a little stressful, but it still might require you to stay present. And just stay with this. And then on 3, an external factor will come into play that will draw you out. So 3, 2, 1, external factor comes into play. What's drawing you away from this moment? What just happened? Did the phone ring? And I invite you to use the mantra in breathing into the heart to help bring yourself back to the present moment of what you're engaged with and what needs your attention. And sometimes we can just close our eyes and just focus on the breath and the mantra. It can be for 2 seconds. It can be for whatever length of time you need it to be. It can be spoken once into the heart and breathe it out. If it's something really intense, maybe we need to give it 30 seconds and close our eyes and allow for us to come back to the moment. And then bring yourself back to what you're engaged with. And I now invite you to drop into nothing. Let everything go. Take a little bit bigger breath with that conscious connected breath. And then now just let this conscious connected breath slow back down and just drop back into nothing. Drop back into nothing. Drop back into your space, your breath. And stay with the breath as it calms back down. Staying with the conscious connected breath through the mouth. We're going to do one more really quick. So I'm just going to invite you to come up, put yourself in another moment that requires your attention. Just verbally bring yourself into a moment. And then as soon as we do the 3 countdown and the external environment comes in, just recognize it again, breathe into it, do a mantra if you need to, and then allow for yourself to come back into the moment through the breath. So 3, 2, 1, external factor, see it, hear it, feel it. And now breathe in, speak the mantra into the heart space, and allow for this breath in the heart to bring you back to the moment and to keep you present with what needs your attention now. And then feel yourself drop back in to what you're doing. With no thought or anything with anything to do with the emotion that came up or the external factor. That external factor can be physical in the external world, or it can be within your own mind of a situation or moment. And let's breathe into nothing. And especially sometimes it's how we react to the external environment with the phones or sounds from the outside, or do we always feel that rush to need to react to it, or can we start to become patient? And with any difficulties within our journey, things that we're struggling with that come up quite a bit, that might draw us away from the moment. Here's where you're probably really going to need the mantra. For me, it's these situations, the difficult ones, the emotional ones, maybe linked to other people. Because the mantra is not always going to be needed. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But then also, I breathe in and out sometimes, just saying that the situation is what it's meant to be, and it's okay. Stop worrying about it. And when the time is right, I'll be able to be in a moment with that emotion or that person. But right now may not be that time. And just bring yourself away, that awareness of the mind, how we feel on the body. And all these little tools, all these little breaths or mantras can help us stay in the moment so that we're more present with what we're doing, maybe more happy with what we're doing. Because if something else is taking me away from my present moment, then I may not be engaged with what I need to be engaged with. I may not be happy with it. I may begin to dread it because I want this other thing that's not even obtainable right now. It's just only there because my mind's letting it be there. So relax and just drop in. And just go into nothing again. The space of nothing, relaxation, lightness, the breath. And then lightly return to a nose breath. And then in a few moments just start to wiggle and reawaken. And bring yourself back to the space that is around you. Say good morning, grand rising. Stretch, move. And as you're stretching and moving too, think of, sometimes I do the hug with the hands, but today we're going to try to self-hug a little bit differently. So as you're starting to move around and reawaken, just for a moment, take a breath and feel the power of a hug through your breath as you're awakening. See if you can find that sensation just through the breath with no touch. And just give yourself a hug through your breath. Really bring yourself into that sensation. And then as you awaken and enter the space around you, remember that you can always hold yourself too. There are those of us around you that love you and will hold you. But sometimes we need to be able to do it ourselves too. Especially with those situations that are always drawing us out of the moment. Take a moment and hold yourself and support yourself. And I'll give everyone a moment to come back. And if there's anyone out there listening, if there's anyone here who wants to comment or share anything, I'll open the floor for a moment as you kind of reawaken. But please feel free to type anything in. I think I can see it on Sadie's phone.
Oh, Marlene. Oh, yeah. Hey, everybody. Yeah, we've had people popping in and out. It looks like, I don't even know if I can stand up. Wait a minute. Hey. Wow. I feel like I was in a time warp.
That was cool.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm vibrating. I don't even know if I can put into words. I mean, I think we all have those obvious phone, nagging and all of that. But I think when sickness or illness or death is thrown into your vibration, we naturally we have to be in the moment in a different way. Same with birth, right? And the same, this energy I've been in, I feel like for about the past like week and a half, almost like semi, quarantined in, and it's forced me to kind of go back into that moment, and at the same time appreciate, these hugs and this, like you said, the embraces of people after the pandemic and everything, in the 2 years we had of, sort of not being allowed or being conditioned to believe that we weren't allowed to hug and touch and like be together. So I'm just expressing my gratitude right now for the fact that the world is feeling semi back to normal, but these pauses are meant to kind of remind us why we're here, right? And what our greater purpose is. So thank you, Matt, for that. That's my 2 cents. I don't know if anybody else has anything to share in the room, but
I can't even think right now. I'm Brian. Thank you, Matt. That was really cool. I really needed that. I haven't done a breath class in a few weeks now, probably. So, and I love doing the meditation to the hot space. It just feels really good. So that was awesome. It just the whole end of that, I was just like melting into the ground. So I was like, I don't even know. That was really cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think we can probably
Matt, I just
close the space out for today. Yeah, we're gonna say something.
Oh, just like it's really fun on the tripod right now because it's like I get to like pan around the circle. Yeah, look at that, smooth like butter. Well, yes. I mean, it was a patch job, but it was actually a patch job, right? Just with different equipment and technology. But thank you, everybody, for joining us today on our multiple platforms. You can find us on YouTube as well, PCSM Church. We also stream our Soul Saturday service on Twitch TV/PCSM Church. This Saturday, 10/29, from high noon until 3, we have DJ Saucy Lady coming to take to the altar to raise the vibration for the congregation. Because yes, that's what our church service basically is all about, is raising the vibration through music and finding joy. So join us on Saturday or join us on Friday night. We have Jessica leading a circle, and we have our integrated practice recovery groups back. So check the website pcsam.org for all of our event details. Subscribe, like, share. Thank you for tuning in. We're always here to remind you that your words cast spells and that your thoughts have the power to change the future. So keep raising the vibe, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, Matt.
Love you. See you all soon. Have a beautiful day.
Come see us down at the
Stay in the moment.
Stay in the moment.